Tonight we have one of the greatest draft classes at stake. I'm sorry, that was last year's script. Today we have one of the more subpar draft classes as of late, but in my opinion, this draft class has lots of potential in players such as LaMelo Ball, Obi Toppin, Anthony Edwards, and I feel like the list goes on, and I feel like no matter what pick you have in a lottery, you should get something that fits your need. Unless you're a Knicks, because you'll probably mess that up. Today, we're hopping into some stats and probabilities for who's more likely to get the number one pick and how it could absolutely change their franchise for the better. Let's hop into the video. Starting at the top, there's 3 teams with equal odds at 14% each at the number one pick in this year's draft, and they are the Warriors, Cavaliers, and Timberwolves. The Warriors are guaranteed a top 5 pick and have the best odds to get the number 5 pick opposed to any other team in the draft. If the Warriors get the number 1 pick, they need to draft to their needs, which in my opinion would be James Wiseman at center. They don't really have a center that can dominate like Wiseman did in college, and this is just an easy pick. The Cavaliers have an equal chance at the number 1 pick as the Warriors do. If they get the first overall pick, I also believe they should go for Wiseman as a 6-man, and they would have one of the youngest cores in the league as of right now. The last team with a 14% chance of being awarded the first overall pick is the Minnesota Timberwolves. With this great young team having Karl Anthony Towns at center, D'Lo at point, they need another guard to help D'Angelo out in the front court, so taking Anthony Edwards would only make sense. Edwards went off at Georgia and is looked at by many as the number 1 pick in the draft, and he would make the Timberwolves even deadlier for the future. The 4th best odds are awarded to the Atlanta Hawks, and the number 1 pick would change their franchise into a playoff contender in only a year. With their breakout point guard Trae Young, who is drawing comparisons to Damian Lillard and Steph Curry, their defensive-oriented center in Clint Capella that they got from the Rockets this year, and other young players poised for breakout such as John Collins, Cam Reddish, and way more to list, they really would be deadly with the addition of Anthony Edwards. In an interview recently, he's already said he wants to stay with his hometown team, and the Hawks would slowly turn to a Celtic-type team with one of the best young cores in the league. It'll be a force to be messed with for years to come. Next up, we have the Detroit Pistons with a 10.5% chance at getting the number 1 pick. With a mentor point guard like Derrick Rose, I think the Pistons would be best off changing their franchise with a player like LaMelo Ball. I've always thought LaMelo would be the best of the Balls considering he always had to play and learn from his older 2 brothers. I think this team, with a healthy Blake Griffin at power forward, Derrick Rose either off the bench or starting, and Luke Kennard would just better their offense with LaMelo either off the bench or in a starting position. Next up with the 6th best odds at number 1 pick are my favorite team, unfortunately, the New York Knicks. The Knicks have a 9% chance of the number 1 pick in this year's draft, but with their luck, will get the 10th pick, even though they have a 0.1% chance of getting it. The young core of the Knicks is promising with players such as RJ Barrett, Frank Ntilikina, Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Knox, and much more. I think we need a good point guard, and I would take LaMelo Ball the first overall pick. With the same reasons I referred to as the Pistons, it's a gamble but a smart pick by the Knicks. Best odds come with the Chicago Bulls with a 7.5% chance of the number 1 pick in the draft. They should also take LaMelo Ball to compare with the likes of Kobe White, Zach LaVine to make another incredible Bulls team, and have 3-point shooting guards a safe gamble for them. Next up, sadly, is the Hornets at 6% odds to score the number 1 pick this year. They kind of need everything, to be honest, so if we're being honest, let's take the best player in the draft overall with James Wiseman. It would suck to see him wasted there at all, so I'm not going to dive into why they should take him that much. Now we enter the under 5% realm, where it is getting very, very small. Next is the Washington Wizards, who absolutely choked in the bubble. They have John Wall and Bradley Beal and a promising young power forward in Hachimura, so they should take the 30 points per game scoring James Wiseman to help their offense along with their defense. Next up, we got the bubble team Suns with a 3% chance. After going 8-0 in the bubble, this team's upside is huge, and I can't wait to see who they draft. And if they get a number 1 pick, they need to draft LaMelo Ball. With Devin as shooting guard and Aiden at center, the incredible LaMelo would make their offense outstanding. It would make their trip to the playoffs in the West a whole lot easier. Next, we have the Spurs at 2% odds. The Spurs play a very set way of basketball, and James Wiseman honestly fits their style the best, and they always had a signature big man, either in Tim Duncan or Nate Robinson, so it's really a no-brainer here. After going to the playoffs for a consecutive 22 years, they need something to up their offense and defense. Next up is the Kings at 1.3% odds at the number 1 pick. The Kings have a very promising group and are finally changing their coaching staff, so a number 1 overall pick could change their whole franchise around. They should take Wiseman because they are lacking at the center position, if we're being honest. Next up is the New Orleans Pelicans at 1.2% odds, and this would just be unfair if they got the number 1 pick. With the team of Zion, Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Hart, and many, many more, they need to draft LaMelo. Now, this sounds nuts considering Anthony Edwards is so incredible, but two brothers' chemistry is something that we've never seen before, and it would for sure work. Lastly, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have a 0.5% odds of getting the first overall pick. They should take Anthony Edwards because they already have probable Rookie of the Year John Morant and a very promising Grizzlies team. That's a no-brainer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can make more videos like this. I made a video about like this a couple days ago with why every team could win the NBA championship that's in the playoffs. This is kind of where who everyone should draft with the number 1 pick. And that's all for the video, guys. I don't want to ramble on too much, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go check out my Instagram, my Twitter. I'm holding a dunk contest on this channel soon, so if you can dunk, DM me a dunk, and I'll put you in. And that's all for the video, guys. I love you guys. Everybody stay safe. I hope your team gets the number 1 pick. Peace out.